Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. Thank you, Patty. When my dear friend Patty calls, you answer. And so it's an honor to be here, a pleasure to be here. Thanks to each and every one of you. Patty, let me double check on time. Should we, 20, 25 minutes? Are we?
Yeah.
All right, so here's how we're going to proceed. I'm going to walk through, everybody should have this handout, tips on making a speech, AKA the 20 piece. So we're going to walk through part of this for about 12 minutes or so, 12 or 13 minutes. Then I'm going to give you a couple of bonus points. Then I'm going to actually have you do a quick exercise, and we're going to have three of you actually come up and do a quick presentation. We're going to do all of that in 25 minutes. So this here, the tips. I've been doing a lot of public speaking since I was a young child, and as Patty said, you know, we all get different gifts. And so I believe that's a gift God gave me, and then also working on it over time, professionally, personally, in many different respects. So, and I also do a lot of work with young people, and one of the things we work on is to help them on how to make effective presentations. So recently, a Toastmasters club at my job actually asked me to come and said, would you come and tell us how to make an effective presentation? I said, sure. So I said, you know what, I need to write this down. And so and this was just recently. So when I got the call from Patty, I said, oh, great, I can use this. So I know this is not just about an effective presentation. In general, we want to talk about inspiring and motivating, but you'll see some elements here. So if we refer to this sheet, we're going to hit a few of these things. First thing, arrogant humility. What I mean by that is this, I believe, whenever you have an opportunity to speak to someone, whether it's one-on-one or in a large group, doesn't matter. There's actually a pretty arrogant proposition there, which is that you're going to stop your life to listen to me, right? When you have that opportunity, that's really an arrogant proposition. And so I think that actually that ought to humble us to say, if I'm going to stop all the things you could be doing, ma'am, in your life, sir, you're going to pause and say, okay, I'm going to listen to this guy, or I'm going to listen to this lady. That's actually a pretty humbling, if you think about it, it's pretty humbling. And so I think that we ought to take that seriously and be good stewards of that opportunity and good stewards of that time. You'll see here, I love the quote, the book of Proverbs, that death and life are in the power of the tongue. Some people say, you know, some people more, I'm a doer, not a talker. It's true, but there is power in words. There's power in words. You can say the right word and says, I love you, ma'am. You're the most beautiful one in here. And it brings a smile. The other thing is say, dude, you're a jerk. I never really liked you anyway. And then all of a sudden, your blood pressure goes up. Literally, there's power in the spoken word. You can speak life or death. You can get someone angry or relax their entire day. So yes, there's a time and place for action, but in some respects, words are action. You can start wars, you can end relationships, you can bring a love together. So never underestimate the power, again, one-on-one or in a large room, that the words you say could literally change the course of someone's life, right? Of a city, of a nation, of a world, literally by the words you speak. So the arrogant humility. Nervousness, this is a quick one, right? They say it's one of the greatest fears. I'm sure you've heard it before. Understand that. When you think, how am I going to motivate? How am I going to inspire? I'm concerned. I'm a little scared. You should be. And if you're not, that's when you should worry, right? It is literally one of the greatest fears that people have. And I'm always amazed. White, black, young, old, rich, poor, senior executives, low on the totem pole, doesn't matter. Most people are scared to get up and speak in front of a group. Don't let that get in the way. Understand it's natural, you're human, and then move on through it. The third one, pray. If you believe in the power of prayer, this is not a proselytizing moment, but if you believe in the power of prayer, if you don't, that's your prerogative. But if you do, and whatever you pray to, whoever you pray to, pray. It's a centering moment. It allows you to try to tap into something that may be bigger than yourself if that's how you perceive it, and that will also empower you and equip you when you go into a room. And I don't care if you're talking to a CEO or a secretary, one person or 15,000 people. If you believe you're connected to someone or something bigger than yourself, it gives you a strength and a confidence that you may not otherwise have. So what? I call this, and this will be on video, urinal theology. So I was standing, thank you, yes, Patty Rose, you didn't know you were going to get that one today. So standing at the urinal, I went to University of Virginia, doing what gentlemen do, and you know how college kids write on a wall. And so someone had written on the wall, Jesus saves. And under that, someone wrote, so what? So I think it always stuck with me for all these years. I don't care what the context is. If you, whatever proposition you're making, sustainability is good, we need more affordable housing, people are so what? Tell me the so what. If you can't answer so what, have a seat. Because now you're wasting my time. So if you want to inspire and motivate somebody, you have to be able to answer the question for them very explicitly and clearly, so what? You'll see I have in here, what does this mean? Are you trying to get people to think differently? Do you want them to act differently? Do you want them to charge the hill? Do you want them to call their senator? Do you want them to, change their day-to-day personal behavior? Whatever it is, be clear on what the so what is, answer that question, and then you'll be able to tap in to inspire and motivate folks. Know your facts. That's a pretty basic one, but you'd be surprised at how many people either don't do enough or do too much. So you don't want to walk in and have no facts, in spite of what we see in the political atmosphere these days where people can get up and seem to go pretty far without a whole lot of facts. You want to have facts, but you don't want to glaze people over. People need, if you give them a few nuggets, right? Oh, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. Yeah, maybe we can win this fight. Maybe we can charge the hill. But if you give them 1,000 facts, people don't get overly inspired by getting drowned in facts. So just keep that in mind. Human stories. So I tell people, look, the natural gift I may have is to motivate, but I have to be grounded in facts. Some people are good with facts, don't know how to motivate. Some folks are good at motivating, aren't good at getting the facts. If you can combine good data with some good, compelling human stories. Little Susie, she's suffering. She's cold, she shivers at night. We got to help little Susie. Oh my God, little Susie, who is little Susie? We got to go help little Susie. You got to have some human stories, a human connection. People relate oftentimes to stories, some relate better to facts, but if you can weave the two, say why this matters. Oh, we need to save the planet. I don't know the planet, right? The water level's rising, and now this is going to flood out North Carolina where your grandmother lives. Oh, wait a minute, grandma's in trouble? Because the water levels are rising? Oh, wait, I need to care about this. So have some human stories that can that can inspire folks. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. We've all been in rooms. We've all been in rooms where someone's making a presentation and clearly they don't have a lot of belief either in themselves or what they're doing. They're like, this is an iffy proposition at best. Or they anticipate, if you ever did speech and debate, if you did debate, you anticipate what your opponent's going to say. Sometimes we anticipate the opposition. We know they don't believe in us. We know they doubt us. And so then we start to cower. Right? Oh, I know they don't believe in me because of whatever. I'm a woman in a man's world. I'm a black guy in a white guy's world. I work for Senator Barbara Mikulski. She used to call it the Wingtip Club. She was a 4'11" round Polish woman in a tall white male WASP world. She called it the Wingtip Boys. So it would have been easy for her to cower. I'm this little short Polish woman from Baltimore. I'm sure they don't respect me. It's not her approach. Many of you know or know that is not the chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee's approach. You got to believe it. If you don't believe it, I'm not going to believe it for you. I got to carry my own load. So when you walk in the room, you got to believe whatever you're selling. If you're not buying it, I'm not buying it. So believe it, right? So that's a key piece. Or as they say, act like you do. All right, and I put this word in here, this line in here, a lie spoken with genuine conviction can be more convincing than truth spoken apathetically. We've all seen that, and that's a scary thing. That's an unfortunate thing, but that's a reality in our world. There's an old comic bit that Eddie Murphy did years ago on a comedy album where he was talking about he cheated on his girlfriend. She found him and she, wow, what is wrong? You did wrong. He said, it wasn't me. I know you did. It wasn't me. And he just kept saying, it wasn't me. He said, by the end, he said, well, maybe it wasn't you. And it was a classic bit. But the point of it is, if you tell a lie with conviction over and over and over again, people may start, now you may come in and say, I've got some good truth. But if you don't sell that thing, some people are going to buy out, particularly in today's world, where people's attention span is short. They want something that excites them. Jazz me up, man. I'm bored. I'm on to the next thing, right? Think about it. Sandy Hook, all those people killed. What a tragedy. Surely things will change. No, we were on to the next thing. So if something that profound, that immediate, that life and death can go out of the news cycle in a pretty short time, it lets you know you got to have something good and you better bring conviction if you want to inspire and motivate. Fire off the line just simply means start strong. I hate to see when people walk up to wherever it is, the podium, the center of the room, and they're kind of half and they're disheveled or they're, command presence. When you walk in the room, command presence. Stand straight. I don't care if you're short or tall. Gather yourself. Make eye contact. And then people, oh man, there's something good about that. What's this guy? What's this lady? She's, right? Just gather yourself. Let people know you're there. You'd be amazed the cues that we all pick up on. I love watching Animal Planet stuff, right? The cues that the animals pick up on nature. The same thing with humans. We can smell confidence. We can smell fear, right? I can tell. You can tell if somebody can look you in your eyes. You can tell if somebody speaks with confidence, or whatever. And you don't have to be loud. I'm not saying you have to be bold, but you have to exude something, right, that catches people. People will pick up on those cues. Number 9, I use this analogy. I love sports. Hold your block. I use that football analogy. We've seen our local football team is not good. Our quarterback gets sacked a lot of times. Why? Because they don't hold the block. Hold the block means you fire off the line. That means you start straight. It's a football in there. Fire off the line. Do like this. You're firing off the line. But then you got to hold the block. That means I got to stick with you throughout my entire presentation. We got to be making eye contact. Not stare you down, but I got to make eye contact. I got to engage you. What just happened there? The gentleman had to be looking down. When I make eye contact with him, it's human nature. You naturally look at somebody. And when you look at somebody, you tend to pay attention to what they're saying. Now, I may be talking about peanut butter and dandelions, but if I'm looking at you, you're going to look at me. So hold the block. Keep the eye contact. So if you're using notes, come up for air. Some people can speak without notes. Some can't. Doesn't matter. I use a swimming analogy. You got to come up for air. Come up for air and make eye contact with your people who are in the audience. Use inflection. Use inflection. I don't care if you naturally speak low or you naturally speak big and booming voice. If you're always speaking like this in your presentation because I want to emphasize the point that this is important, people are they're going to tune you out because now you're just yelling constantly. The flip side is if you speak very quietly and you're like, I'm going to make a presentation today and I want to inspire you, that's fine. Everyone doesn't have the same voice. But if you stay at that same monotone level, I don't care if it's big and booming or if it's low, you'll lose people. So use some inflection to make the point. If you use the same tone when you give me a data point as you do when you talk about the little Miss Susie's house is burning and we have to save her, to me that means you're just going through the motions. Use inflection. Play through the whistle means finish strong. Give a rallying cry. Leave people with an image. Give them a charge. This is number 10, or a challenge. At the end of the day, again, if you're answering so what, at the end you should say to people what the so what is and the power of repetition, right? Little Susie is hungry. Now is the time to get her some chunky peanut butter on a sandwich. Little Susie is starving. Now is the time to go get that bread. Little Susie's stomach is growling. Now is the time for us to go and make sure we put jelly and peanut butter so that little Susie is no longer hungry. Now is the time. People can start leaving. Wow, I guess now's the time. Whatever the phrase is, we are the ones. Now's the time. Whatever your phrase is, if you use some repetition, you'd be amazed how it sticks with people at the end when you're trying to bring home your point. Whether you're saying charge the hill, whether you're saying we got to stop using fossil fuels, whatever. We got to all take a bath. I don't care what you're saying. Use some repetition at the end can be a powerful thing to inspire and motivate. A couple other points on here, and we're going to move to the exercise. Don't let people know you've messed up. You don't know what the next word is I'm about to say. So unless I tell you, you won't know. And you'd be amazed at how many people get flustered when they mess up. If you mess up, get comfortable with this. The sound of silence. Most people freak out at silence. So if you mess up, particularly if you have notes, it's okay. Gather yourself, take a deep breath, slows your heart rate down, focus on your thoughts. You'd be amazed how many people, their natural reaction is to get flustered. Relax, get focused. It's okay with the silence. It's a scary thing. You're in front of an audience. Everyone's looking at you. They're waiting. Don't worry. Stay focused. Go back. Project your voice. Don't yell. Enunciate. Don't let your body be a distraction. Fillers. The magic of tell them, that's a basic speech thing. You'll see number 16, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them what you told them. The magic of 3, studies have been done. People tend to remember things if you give them 3 points, right? If you give them more or give them less, they've done studies that say people tend to remember things in 3. So here, you don't have to do it, but you'll see a lot of times people will do that. Here's a boom, boom, boom. All right, oh, okay, that's the boom, boom, boom. And you get, for whatever reason, the magic of 3. Call the names of people in the room. You want to inspire and motivate? You know, I believe now's the time. Patty Rose, we can get that peanut butter sandwich. Brendan Shane, we're going to feed little Susie. And, oh, wait, they're calling names. This is personal, right? Call names of people in the audience. That inspires, motivates me, because now I know I'm on point. And then you start, other people in the room, he may call on me next, right? Oh, wait, this is personal now. Patty's going to feed little Susie, not just us, Patty. Brendan's going to make the peanut butter sandwich. This is real, right? So call some names. Pace yourself. Know your audience. Be authentic. At the end of the day, be you. Genuineness still goes a long way, even in our crazy world.